Terraria speedrunning, a genre on the internet popularized by Terraria YouTuber Ningishu, gaining over 9 million views alone on each of his speedrun videos, with the main goal of defeating the final boss, Moonlord. It's been long since Ningishu's disappearance. Once a legend, now who will take his place? It's none other than Max Overpower. His earliest speedrun started over 6 years ago, speedrunning the defeat of Brain of Tuluhu, defeating the boss in only under 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and he's been constantly speedrunning without any signs of stopping even until this date. Max holds multiple Terraria speedrun world records, but he's most famously known for holding the first place on Terraria version 1.3 C.Glitch run. Currently, he holds the 5th place for Terraria version 1.4 speedrun, as his world record speedrun was broken by 4 other players. But even after losing his world record title, people including the current world record holder would still call him the true legend of Terraria speedruns. But why? It's because he's been actively doing speedruns and managing the community almost since its beginnings, achieving the first world record in Terraria speedrun history with almost an unbeatable time during the old days. And in this video, we'll be analyzing his interesting recent version 1.4 speedrun that is currently placed 5th on the record on speedrun.com, and the ways which his time was beaten and improved further by the other world record holders. But there is something else that is interesting. Our sponsor for today's video, Rise of Kingdoms, which you can download right now. It's free to play on mobile and even PC. You know what's even better? It has crossplay, so you can play whenever and wherever you want. Rise of Kingdoms is a strategy game that features real civilization from history and a lot of war generals. In Rise of Kingdoms, you can collect resources, build and expand your kingdoms, upgrade your soldiers and guard your land. Everything is under your control, and you are a powerful king in charge of building your own country and fighting others. The game features a technology tree based on real-world logic. You can prioritize military research to support your kingdom, but if you forget to research economic technologies, you could fall behind on resource collection, research and construction speed. But most importantly, the tech tree allows you to choose the way you play. Apart from the tech tree, I also want to say that the PC version is very smooth and compatible with most computer setups. Being able to play an RTS game with the precise mouse input is just perfect. But regardless whether you're playing on PC or mobile, players have the full control over the architecture and layout of their own kingdoms. And the world map is seamless. It all takes place on a single enormous map. There is no such thing such as isolated bases or separate battle screens. It's basically infinite zoom. I hope you guys will love this game and support my channel by downloading Rise of Kingdoms from the link or QR code here. And you guys can receive a special bonus using this code. Technology is power. Build your powerful kingdoms in the Rise of Kingdoms today. Now back to the video. Max starts off his run with nothing special, just chopping off wood like we all would do. Then he proceeds to make 5 quick NPC prison houses so NPCs could move in. Most importantly, the demolitionist NPC for the dynamites he sells. He then proceeds to go inside a cave and explore it to search for gems in order to craft a gem hook. He luckily got good loots in the process such as Ice Blade and Hermes boots, not to forget multiple life crystals. You have to keep in mind that this is a glitchless run, so there isn't really anything game breaking, so getting good loots is a very good thing. Now that he had finished exploring the cave, he recalled and crafted a topaz hook. Now here is when things get more interesting. It is almost the first night, but instead of trying to fight Eye of Tuluhu, he went to the desert biome and used explosive to obtain sand blocks. You might be confused, don't worry, me too. Turns out he was doing this in order to craft stained glass, which sells for a lot more than sand or regular glass, which gave him a lot of money to buy tons of dynamites from the demolitionist NPC. Not wasting any more time, he bombed down the platform below him in order to get to the underworld, and built a house for the Goat NPC to move in. This was built for easy access to spawn Wall of Flesh later on. Then he recalled, went right to the Crimson biome, and gathered materials and vertebrae. Not long before the first night ends, he decided to go to the dungeon to fight Skeletron. He strategically placed grenades and dynamites that he bought earlier, luring and baiting Skeletron to the explosion area. By doing this, he was able to defeat Skeletron easily. After defeating Skeletron, he then proceeds to explore deeper into the dungeon with the main goal of getting 30 bones. But in the process, he gained few helpful loots, such as Cobalt Shield for the knockback immunity and a Blue Moon Flail, and also finding the mechanic NPC as well, which is quite essential for later on. He then proceeds to recall, organize his inventory, and without wasting any more time, he jumped down the elevator in order to reach the underworld to fight Wall of Flesh. In preparation for the fight, he made a quick hell bridge. With no mercy, Max drops the Goat NPC into a pool of lava in order to start the Wall of Flesh boss fight. To cheese the fight, instead of using B-nades like players would usually do, Max used dynamites. He placed them strategically on the hell bridge with the most precise correct timing, so that they would explode right at Wall of Flesh face, dealing insane amount of damage. By doing this, he was able to beat Wall of Flesh with ease, and proceed further into the next stage of the game. Max started off his hard mode journey by first obtaining Hellstone. He waited until hard mode to get Hellstone because this way, you can explode it with dynamites. Then he crafts a Molten Pickaxe to be able to mine hard mode ores, alongside with Molten Fury Bow and Hellstone Arrows to deal with early hard mode enemies. Not leaving the underworld just yet, he proceeds to farm Souls of Light from the mobs there, building a weird contraption that allows him to farm them with ease using dynamites, and doing it in a similar fashion to farm Souls of Night. He also got Ichor from doing this, which are used to craft Ichor arrows later on. Then he finally proceeds to recall, went to the Crimson Biome to break some altars in order for hard mode ores to spawn. Then he proceeds to mine them down so he can craft a material anvil, using all the materials he had gathered previously, such as bones and vertebrae. He was able to craft the 3 mechanical bosses summoning item. Talk about long-term investment. Not wasting even a speck of time, Max set goal to defeat the destroyer first. He proceeded to build another interesting contraption with a small hole in the middle of it, where he can throw dynamite safely without getting touched or damaged by the destroyer. Using this cheese enabled him to safely and easily defeat the destroyer. Afterwards, he proceeds to build a house for Nurse NPC to move in, and he slept to make the time progress further to the next night. Using the hallowed bars obtained from defeating the destroyer, he was able to craft a hallowed repeater. And as the night falls in, Max prepared himself for the fight against Skeletron Prime. Aside from abusing the healing from Nurse NPC, there were really no weird chasing strategy used by Max against Skeletron Prime. Max purely fought the mechanical skeleton using his hallowed repeater and Ichor arrows. 2 down, 1 more mech boss to go. This time, he did not wait until the next night. He only crafted hallowed mask and leggings and proceed to instantly summon the twins. Max focuses on taking down one eye at a time, more specifically the Spasmatism, again with no weird chasing strategy, purely with his hallowed repeater and current gear, and of course by abusing healing from the Nurse NPC, he was able to take down the twins. Now that the 3 mechanical bosses are down, Max proceeds to craft a full set of hallowed armor and bought some wiring tools and actuators from the mechanic NPC. In order to have a reasonable chance of finding a Plantera bulb, Max sleeps to speed up time. Remember, this was done on 1.4.3, as version 1.4.4 spawns in 1 guaranteed instant Plantera bulb once you've taken down all the 3 mechanical bosses, meaning this run could potentially be much faster if it was done on 1.4.4. It took him quite a while to find the Plantera bulb, but he finally found it. He cleared down the obstacles in the area and made a quick arena. Then he awakens the mother of all plants, Plantera. Max did not abuse the healing from Nurse NPC this fight, it was all purely just skill. This is why I've always said that Plantera is one of the easier bosses in Terraria, because you could just circle the boss and you'd be just fine. Although you do need to maintain your spacing between her during phase 2. Oh, and if you notice, Plantera and all the bosses so far are pogging. It's because Max have always used Pogaria texture pack in most of his speedruns, Fairy Base and Poggers. Now that Plantera's dead, Max proceeds to search for the temple in order to fight the next boss, Golem. But instead of finding the jungle temple entrance, he used actuators and wires to skip all the mazes, and he went straight to the Golem's arena. Then he proceeded to place some torches and built a small special house setup that doesn't require any background walls to be valid for the Nurse NPC to move in. Right after she moved in, he spawns in the Golem. He uses his hallowed repeater with unholy arrows to hit multiple Golem hands at once. There were no cheeses or weird tactics being used, only the Nurse healing cheese. The Nurse NPC healing cheese is truly perfectly balanced. Even though it took quite a long while to fight Golem, now I understand more why people love to say that Golem is the easiest boss in Terraria. These boss attack patterns are so repetitive. And yes, he was able to take Golem down. The run is coming to an end. As Golem's down, Max proceeds to recall. Max sorted his inventory and went straight to the dungeon without any hesitation. This was in order to fight the lunatic cultists. Interestingly, Max did not change his weapons or gears at all. Max was still using hallowed repeater with unholy or Ichor arrows. Heck, most of his gears are obtainable pre-hard mode, aside from Eye of Golem. Anyways, he didn't do any cheese for the lunatic cultist fight, not even the Nurse NPC healing cheese, so it was purely skill from years of experience. He was able to dodge most of the cultist projectile with ease. It is safe to say that Max won the battle against the worshippers of Moonlord. The Celestial Pillars have spawned in. It's not long until impending doom himself will come. Max decided to fight the Vortex Pillar first. Max used a very simple strategy. He dug down a small hole, so the Vortex Pillar enemies could not reach nor touch him, while he can shoot the enemies down with his hallowed repeater from the small hole. Max told me to point out that unholy arrows are the only viable and usable ammo during this stage, so Arms Dealer is quite an important NPC. Once the barrier's down, he proceeds to go under the Vortex Pillar and use the same strategy again. This way, he was able to take down the massive Vortex Pillar with ease. By defeating the Vortex Pillar, he was able to get some Vortex Fragments, which he crafted into Phantasm Bow, a very significant major weapon upgrade. The next pillar he's heading to is the Stardust Pillar. To make Stardust Pillar easier, he pulls some star cells towards him, but he doesn't kill them when they get to small size, so they could reproduce infinitely like Amoeba. He kept doing this until the barrier is down. Then once the barrier's down, he just went kamikaze using Phantasm against the Stardust Pillar. Nothing too special to show here. Using his newly obtained Stardust Fragments, he crafted a Stardust Dragon Staff to aid him in battles. enemies. Then he proceeds to go and fight the solar pillar. Max built another interesting contraption that I don't quite understand how it works. But what I know is that it makes all the enemies spawn on one side of the screen, behind a wall, making it easier to kill them. By doing this, Max was able to chase the solar pillar safely and easily, again going kamikaze against the pillar once the barrier is down. 3 pillars down, 1 left to go. Using his newly obtained solar fragments, he was able to craft Daybreak, a deadly melee spear. By the way, keep in mind he's still using the same exact armors and accessories since Golem. Now he's heading to fight the last pillar before Moonlord, the Nebula pillar. He uses junction blocks from the mechanic NPC to place blocks mid-air, and yet again made another interesting contraption. I don't quite understand how it works, but for sure it makes the Nebula enemy spawn inside a box, while he can throw his Daybreak safely inside a smaller box. This way he was able to entirely chase the Nebula pillar fight. Now that all the pillars are down, the impending doom himself, Moonlord, is coming. During this final moment, Max prepared himself mentally. He did not change any of his armors nor accessories. Using his Phantasm, he shot multiple arrows upwards, and the Moonlord finally spawned in. Interestingly, he did not try to dodge any of Moonlord's attacks. Well, because he spams the nurse healing every time he gets to low health. Not gonna lie, it's a bit anticlimactic. Damn, the nurse healing is perfectly balanced. He uses Daybreak as a weapon of choice to target the eye on both of Moonlord's hands and his upper eye. Then Max switched to Phantasm for Moonlord's core. By using the Nurse Chi strategy, Max could just sit back, relax, and see the impending doom himself fall down before his very eyes. 1 hour and 27 minutes. This was a very impressive time, and was the world record during that time. In a glitchless random seed run like this, every step and decision matter. Luck is a huge factor as well. And naturally, over time, strategies have evolved. People have invented and performed new strategies after Max run, causing Max to lose his world record title, such as defeating all mechanical bosses on night 2, and using an improved vertical chase setup on Solar Pillar, which was done by Habu and current world record holder Afroman, beating Max run by 9 minutes. To this day, the Terraria speedrunning community, including Max and Afroman themselves, are still actively inventing new ways and strategies to improve their time. Especially with the new Terraria 1.4.4 update, where speedrunners would start to use a lance weapon exploit to kill hard mode bosses insanely fast. And the update introducing new things like Shimmer Liquid, a liquid that is able to decraft materials and items. The time surely can be improved further. But still, considering Max Run was one of the earliest run being submitted to speedrun.com, and with all of his contributions in mind, though he's currently not the world record holder, he'd still hold the title of the Legend of Terraria Speedrunning. Before continuing on, I'd like to thank the whole Terraria speedrunning community for being super helpful with the video. Max helped me a ton with the video script, and even the current world record holder himself, Afroman, was kind enough to help me with the video thumbnail. In the final chapter of this video, we'll be talking about something that is highly controversial, the possibility of the legendary Terraria YouTuber Ningishu speedrun being cheated. There are evidences of splicing in 2 of Ningishu's older speedrun, which means Ning did not record those speedrun continuously, but instead they would be composed of various video snippets recorded at different times being merged together to look legit. A forum post on the Chinese website Bilibili, posted by a now deleted account, was recently rediscovered by speedrunner Afroman. This post revealed how and where Ningishu cut off their video. Essentially, the daytime background that is present during world generation will always be the same background that is present upon entering the world. However, in both of Ning's Wall of Flash speedrun, the backgrounds that are present during world generation change upon them entering the world, showing clear and conclusive evidence that these runs were spliced and not played on a random seed. I refused to talk about this topic earlier, nor make clickbait out of this topic, as I do not want to bait easy views by talking about something that could potentially cause massive drama, as Ningishu has always been someone that a lot of Terraria fans look up to and respect, even so including myself. We are not trying to defame nor slander Ningishu. We have no ill intent towards Ning. We're just trying to spread the truth to the world. You can run, but you can't escape from the truth. Multiple people have raised suspicions against Ningishu's Moonlord in 90 minutes run. Shortly described, it was way too lucky with insane item drop RNGs, and everything seems way too suspiciously convenient. There was a Google Docs made describing every way in which Ningishu got insanely lucky. It's almost like a certain green Minecraft speedrunner. It will be in the video description if you want to have a look. Some of the insane examples such as getting a swiftness potion from a slime straight away, perfect traveling merchant inventory, and finding Plantera bulb in under 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And let's not forget about the Blast Apple, which conveniently dropped from an enchanted sword enemy, as well as getting good modifiers on every single weapon used in the run, not to mention extreme cases happening, such as getting a mechanical skull, which is a 1 out of 2500 chance of happening, along with 2 Hellfire Yo-Yos, all from just 1 King Slime. It would take an ungodly insane amount of luck in order for all of this to happen. Yet nobody seems to touch this topic, as I assume they might be afraid to get cancelled. Especially in this new era of internet where breathing air could get you cancelled. However, there is no definitive proof of this run being cheated, as Ningishu disables in-game music and doesn't use an external timer. Their run could have been spliced in a way that could not be detected. There are decisions Ningishu made that may seem normal at first glance, but in reality requires such incredible luck that no speedrunner would actually go for them in a random speed run. One such example is digging down for crystal shards, just to find more shards than would realistically ever spawn in the amount of time they've been in hard mode. This leads to many speedrunners to believe that this is a seeded run with externally boosted RNG values, meaning Ningishu had many attempts at this world, and their decisions throughout the whole run reflect this. This is me post-editing. I just wanted to mention a very important thing. The background that is present during world generation can change on Terraria version 1.4, but it can't change on version 1.3. So if you're trying to prove this, do it on Terraria version 1.3 or below, not 1.4. And also, the Terraria speedrunner community got another evidence of Ningishu cheating. This time, it was on their Skeletron run, cheating by yet again splicing. Max told me it's quite funny to look at, but even if Ning's Moonlord runs were not legitimate, we won't deny that they were entertaining and have made a lot of people learn more about Terraria speedruns. But that won't change the reality that cheating in a speedrun is no laughing matter.